It's your time. It's his time. It's Pants time. Pants time to shine. It's hot as a bitch in this room, bro. Y'all see, summer's officially here. But anyways, we have how good was Wilt Chamberlain actually? This is the man who allegedly scored, not allegedly, he scored 100 points in the game. I just want to see a little bit of footage. They seem to find everything else from that time, but they can't find the footage of that 100-point game. I realized that was in the 1920s, but still, like, I'm just playing. It was in the 50s or whatever, 60s, whatever it was. I still just want to see a little bit of something. But obviously I know the gist of Wilt Chamberlain. I'm about to find out a little more with y'all. So let's get straight to this video with that being said. How good was he actually?
Wilt Chamberlain is often considered the most dominant force that played the game of basketball and one of the greatest players of all time. We already have the top 10 amazing facts on Chamberlain on this channel. And in this video, we'll try to further debunk the myth that is Wilt the Stilt. We'll try to answer the question of how dominant.
Right now, where do y'all have Wilt Chamberlain? Is Wilt Chamberlain in your top 10? Comment down below your top 10. It can be in order or it don't gotta be in order, but just comment down below your top 10 basketball players of all time.
He really was, why he only won 2 championships, and why he didn't really like to dunk. So stay tuned.
He didn't like to dunk? I didn't know that. Well, dunking wasn't really allowed like that back then.
Most versatile athlete ever.
Okay.
Wilt Chamberlain was the strongest NBA player ever, and numerous stories confirm this. Arnold Schwarzenegger once said that Wilt could lift him up like he was nothing, and multiple 240-pound NBA players said the same thing. Chamberlain was an undefeated shot putter in college, and his record bench press was 550 pounds. At the age of 59, Wilt was still benching 465, more than some bodybuilders in their prime. Other than strength, Wilt was also extremely fast and agile.
Hey, that's a goal of mine, to hit like 40 plus, 45, 50, to still be able to run, jump, still be mobile. You get what I'm saying? And that all starts right now. You know, if you hey, comment down below if you work out. I know everybody got a situation. Some of y'all got kids. Some of y'all got crazy jobs, work schedules, whatever the case may be. But do you make time to do other stuff and not get in the gym and keep your body right? Comment down below if you go to the gym, bro. I'm trying to encourage everybody to get that workout in, because that's a goal of mine, to be able to run, jump, you feel me, still be that youthful, because I'm trying to train my son. If he want to play basketball, I'm about to be beating his ass in the backyard, and when he is able to beat me, I ain't gonna do no whole shit. I'm still playing. When he beats me, I'm gonna be proud, but he ain't gonna be able to beat me for the first 17 years of his life. Hopefully he could beat me faster than that, but that's a goal of mine, not to deviate. That's just a goal of mine, to be able to run, jump, and still do shit. I hate when people, they say they're getting old when they 33, 34, 35, 36. You still got a lot of time, bro. Just take care of yourself, you know?
Agile. He could run a 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds, and his personal best at 100 meters was 10.9, which is mesmerizing for a guy that is 7'1". Allegedly, at a Hollywood party, NFL Hall of Fame running back Jim Brown raced Wilt on a dare, and Wilt won. Brown, who was still in his prime, demanded a rematch.
Damn.
But Wilt beat him again. Wilt was also extremely athletic, with a vertical leap of over 40 inches, with some reports saying it was even 48 inches, which would qualify for the highest NBA vertical ever. And he was doing that in Chuck Taylors, which makes it even more impressive. With crazy strength, speed, and jumping ability, it's safe to say Wilt was the best athlete ever. LeBron's and Usain Bolt's of the world would give him a run for his money, but neither of them could match his strength. Say Wilt was the best athlete ever. LeBron's and Usain Bolt's of the world would give him a run for his money, but neither of them could match his strength.
They couldn't match his strength. I mean, I can't agree or disagree, because I've only seen LeBron, and I've seen, obviously, I know of Usain Bolt, seeing some shit of him, clips and shit like that, races and things, but I haven't seen Wilt, so I can't even disagree, like, with whatever I can't, so let's just, I don't know why I paused it.
The best shot blocker ever.
Oh.
When there is any talk about Wilt, people usually start with 100 points in a game, and
I need to see the footage.
I
saw, yep,
His offense made him famous, and it sold tickets in newspapers. But what is rarely discussed is Chamberlain's defense.
Hold on. I know, hold on.
The game.
I want to see the footage, but this isn't why I paused it.
And 50 points per season.
The man averaged 50 points in a season, bro. How is that possible? Like, I get it. They say he was playing against the whatever he was playing against. And I'm not saying that the 50 points per game didn't happen. I'm just saying it's so crazy to think that a basketball player, no matter how tall or whatever you want to say he was, averaged 50 points in the game. 50 points in a season. 50? That mean how many points were they averaging in Wilt's time? How many points were they? I know in the 80s and 90s, they weren't averaging over 100 points a game in the 80s and 90s. So I'm sure it was probably even lower, 50s and 60s, right? They probably was averaging, let me fact check that. It says 115, but in the 1980s, I heard it on a podcast where they was averaging like less than 100 points a game in the 80s and 90s. I don't know. Oh well. But I just he was responsible for half of their points for majority of the season. That's just crazy to me. How a person was able to do that shit.
His offense made him famous, and it sold tickets in newspapers. But what is rarely discussed is Chamberlain's defense.
Okay.
While he probably was the best defender in the league.
Well, he took that shit out there.
That also includes Bill Russell. Wilt and Russell were the premier shot blockers in the league. That didn't count shot blocking. But if it did, Hakeem Olajuwon wouldn't be the NBA all-time leader in blocked shots.
Why didn't they count certain things back then, bro? Because that skews the stats now. There would be a different conversation with certain things if they counted certain shit. Like, why weren't, a block shot, why wasn't that counted? There's a video I reacted to where they said you can't play deep. The coach told, I think it's the Bill Russell video, you can't play defense like that. And it's like, why can't he play deep? Like, what do you mean? Like, I get it. I'm speaking from being in 2025 versus being in the 60s and 70s. It's just like, it's crazy to me. So back then, did they have to not let the ball go in, but I just don't get it, bro. I like how the game was evolved and things of that nature, but there's some rules that I'm looking at like, what the fuck was y'all doing? Y'all was allowing all that bullshit ass clothesline and shit at the basket. Like, that's not defense, bro. Like, it's just certain shit I look at. Why did they allow certain shit?
When Walter Bellamy first came to the NBA, he had one of the best rookie years ever, averaging 31.6 points per game. To this day, Bellamy scored. When Walter Bellamy
or Bellum
first came to the NBA.
Oh, Bellum. Okay, I'm about to say, what the fuck? Where's the Y at? Because I heard Bellamy, but 31 points per game as a rookie. I know Jordan. What did Jordan average? 28 or some shit like that. Jordan averaged, I think, 28. Then his highest season is 37, right? Jordan averaged 28 as a rookie, I think. This man came in and averaged 31. Did he get hurt? Walter Bellamy, did he get hurt? Because coming in averaging 31 as a rookie, you're on pace to be, that. Did he get hurt?
NBA. He had one of the best
years
ever, averaging 31.6 points per game. To this day, Bellamy's scoring is the best ever by an NBA rookie, behind only Wilt Chamberlain, of course, who averaged 37.6 in his inaugural season. The first time Bellamy played Wilt, they both met at half court, and Walter introduced himself. "Hello, Mr. Chamberlain. I'm Walter Bellamy." Wilt then replied with, "Hello, Walter. You won't get a shot off in the first half."
How do you know they said that, bro? That's the only thing. Like, how do you know it? Is that documented somewhere that we have to go look at? How do you know that was it?
Wilt blocked Bellamy 9 times in a row in the first half.
Oh, shit.
When the second half began, Wilt walked over to Bellamy and said, "Okay, Walter, now you can play." He did a very similar thing to Magic Johnson in 1980. At UCLA campus, Magic would play pickup with various college and NBA players in the offseason. Wilt showed up and got in the game. After Magic called
Magic had the vampire sideburns, bro.
43-year-old Chamberlain got mad.
43-year-old.
There would be no more layups in this gym, and he blocked every one of Magic's shot after that and ran him out of the gym. Wilt is also the only guy to block Kareem's skyhook, the most unguardable move in history. Wilt played against himself.
The skyhook really is the most unguardable shot in history, but it's way, it's harder than it. Like, you look at that, and, if you see that as a kid, you be like, what the fuck is that? But you really realize that shit is harder than it looks. It's pretty much, it's it's literally like it's all feel for real. All shots, majority of shots are feel. What you do in basketball is feel, period. But this is really because for one, you're opposite of the basket. Like your shoulders to the basket. It's not like you're doing a floater face front in front of the rim. You're going like this, so it's really a feel, like a real touch for the game.
And then everyone else. Wilt's mother emphasized to him that he is different because of his size, that he's going to be stared at, and that he must use it in a good way and always be well-mannered and kind. So, Wilt grew up an extremely good-natured guy, and on the basketball court, he received a lot more punishment and knocks in the paint that he would give away. He knew that he could beat everybody up, but he refused to do so. Former NBA player and coach Jack McMahon said it best. The best thing that ever happened to the NBA is that God made Wilt a nice man. He could have killed us all with that left hand. This behavior was reflected in the way he played the game as well. Wilt was the biggest, strongest, and most athletic player in his era. He could have easily dominated the game with his physical prowess alone. But unlike Olivia Newton-John, Wilt didn't want to get physical, at least not all the time. Nobody loves Goliath, Wilt said to Sports Illustrated, explaining that he wanted to show the world he's a skillful player, not just a brute force. He also admitted that him playing a finesse game and trying to be a versatile scorer actually hurt his career.
I was just about to see. That's why I let it go, just so I could say it. That is the main thing that fucks people up, bro. And I'm not gonna compare myself to no NBA player, but I had a point where I'm playing on a team, and I've never been I guess you can say the pure scorer that everybody talks about. I had seasons where I was the main scorer on my team. You know, I've been up and down with basketball since I was a kid. You know, just not understanding the game fully, certain things I could have did better, things of that nature, right? But I was always sometimes told, like, that's not a real bucket. Like, that wasn't skillful. They always say something's not skillful when you get straight to it. When you don't over dribble, you don't try to be too smooth, be hella fancy, you're not skillful. You know what I'm saying? That actually hurts you. If you can attack the basket and have the advantage on somebody every time, why would you not do that? If that motherfucker is faster than you, he gonna use his speed on you, right? Oh, why you using your speed all the time? You know, it's just stupid. People complain about posting them up the whole game. But you're gonna use your speed on me the whole game. Why would I? They try to trick you out of using your advantage, and then they trick you by getting you to do other stuff. You're practicing a bunch of other shit, trying to do other shit when you have a height advantage. Do that until somebody stops you. Then that's where the adjustment comes in. That don't mean you don't develop your game. That just means stop letting the defense dictate what the fuck you do. So that hurt me when I was playing seriously, and it's something I gotta live with for real. You know?
What hurt me was that I wanted to be a consummate basketball player, and I wanted to be able to shoot the ball instead of just taking it to the basket and dunk it as I should have. I had great satisfaction shooting fadeaway shots, hook shots, finger rolls, and a lot of times that was a negative more than a positive.
Right.
If I just went out and took it to the basket every time, I'd have averaged 70 or 80 points a game.
All right, man, 70. I mean, to be honest, you can say this shit since you average 50 in a season. You can actually say this shit, but I don't care who he's playing against, 50 points in a season is still crazy. Because and somebody told me this, if you right now go play at a middle school, you 18, 19, 20 years old, you go play at a middle school, are you going to score 100 points in that game? If you're playing against younger ass kids, you still probably wouldn't score 100. He scored 100 on, allegedly. Well, it's not I gotta see the footage, but he did what he did in against people of his magnitude, people of his stature, you know what I'm saying, his age, his league, his comp. So we can't belittle the 50 points per game season. I can't really say nothing about the 70 or 80 since you did average 50, you know? But yeah, don't get tricked out your game. That's what they want you to do. They try to trick you and try to say, oh, you can't shoot. I'm going to shoot when I want to shoot. That's how you're supposed to think for all hoopers out there. Don't try to shoot because the defense is trying to dictate you and trick you into taking a bad shot.
Wilt said.
Because you hurt your team.
Were just ordinary for Wilt. And if we look at Wilt's stats, there is a huge discrepancy from the first half of his career, when he shot more than 30 times per game, and the second half, when he averaged only 13 field goal attempts per contest. Wilt was his own man, not really bothered too much by everyone else. And if he set his mind to do something, he would do it. So, after the 65-66 season, Wilt decided not to score as much. After he averaged 40 in his first 7 seasons, he wanted to prove that he can also pass, and became the league leader in assists, and is still the only center with this achievement. Can you imagine Michael Jordan saying one day, "Okay, fellas, I'm not scoring anymore. From now on, I'll only pass"? Everybody would think Mike had gone mad. After Wilt decided to pass the ball more, the press wrote a story that he couldn't score anymore. So naturally, in the next 3 games, the Big Dipper had 62, 55, and 48 points just to prove them wrong. Wilt was as potent as
the media was on bullshit back then too, huh?
ever. And the athletic freak that he was, he could have averaged over 30 for every year of his career. He just got tired of it. Watching Wilt, you always kind of got the idea he was just playing with people, that he was on cruise control and still 10 times better than anybody else that was playing at that time, said Dan Issel, a former NBA player and coach. 2 very different men, both larger than life, and forever linked in history of the game. Any conversation about Wilt almost always involves Bill Russell, and vice versa. They were the 2 best players of their time, and their careers will forever be intertwined. With his physical ability, statistical achievements, and pure dominance over everybody else, Wilt would likely be considered the best player ever. However, he's not even considered the best player of his time.
Really?
And for a casual fan, he's just a guy with good numbers, while Russell was the winner. And the truth is, somewhere in the middle. In 94 regular season meetings, Russell won 57 to Chamberlain's 37. In 49 playoff games, Russell came away victorious 29 times to Chamberlain's 20. Between the years 1960 and 1969, Wilt's teams were faced against Russell's Celtics 8 times in the playoffs, with 4 of those going to the deciding Game 7. Russell won all 4, but the total point differential was just 9 points in all Game 7s combined. So, a couple of bounces the other way, and the rings narrative could have been different. Also, Russell had the best coach in the game and better teammates. However, that was also by design. Russell wasn't the physical freak like Chamberlain, and was not a highly touted player.
They was doing this shit wearing these shoes, man. This is actually insane. They was doing this type of shit wearing these shoes. Let that sink in.
Russell wasn't the physical freak like Chamberlain, and was not a highly touted player. Bill quickly realized that for success, he needs the whole team around him to be great.
Bro, it's so fucking
Russ
hot.
wasn't as good a scorer as Wilt was, and even though he was capable, his intention wasn't to score himself. He always wanted to get the rest of the guys involved. He was the passer at his position, but unlike Wilt, he wasn't trying to lead the league in assists to prove it. Russell wasn't a better individual player than Wilt. It was the other way around. If they played one-on-one, Wilt would always come up on top. In their 94 regular season games, Wilt...
Who would y'all take, Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain? Because look what they just said. One-on-one, Wilt Chamberlain gonna come out on top. But it's looking like a lot of people was gonna take Bill Russell because of the other shit. Who would you take if you had to pick between Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain? Hit the comment section. Let me know. Let's get it going. Let's debate. I want to see what y'all got to say on that one because it just said an interesting point. And I did a one-on-one breakdown video. I want to say probably like last month, like in the middle of April, probably early, like mid-April. I did a why one-on-one doesn't mean anything.
Averaged 30 points and 28 rebounds to Russell's 14 and 23. In the playoffs, it was similar. Wilt had 25.7 and 28. While Bill averaged 15 and 24.7 boards.
That's insane. The man damn near averaged 30 rebounds. 30, bro.
Career leader, and didn't care about the numbers and what others might think of him. And there lies the secret. Russell's game was constructed around team basketball.
Okay.
And because basketball is a team sport, the result in championships is 11-2. even though some of the series were really close and could have gone the other way. Wilt would have been better off in an individual sport, and he understood that too. Sometimes the mere power of you makes you more the individual player. Russell was more complete and was able to help his team win more than I did. Wilt Chamberlain on the Boston Celtics would not have been the same. I would take away from Bob Cousy and Tom Heinsohn because I was a scorer too. So sometimes less is better. Wilt said about the eternal question of who is better between the two. Wilt was the Renaissance man. Wilt Chamberlain was a guy larger than life who lived life to the fullest. He was interested in everything and wanted to experience everything.
Wilt Chamberlain Archive,
but was also
YouTube
a
channel.
huge loner. And if you understand who he was as a person, that gives you a better understanding of who he was as a player. He achieved the biggest scoring feat in NBA history, and then decided it was time to start passing, and became the best passer in the league. He could have dunked everything, but wanted to become a versatile scorer. He still holds the record for the highest field goal percentage ever. He slept with one woman, only to start flirting with the next one. After he retired from that, he slept with one woman, only to start flirting with the next. After he retired from basketball, he became the best volleyball player. And that's who Wilt really was. Never satisfied, always exploring and moving to the next thing. If he wanted to, he could have settled down. If he wanted to, he could have dunked.
I did hear bro had like 12. It was the number 12 was involved, not baby mamas, but it was the number 12 was involved. Like he was one of them. Like I did hear about that. For
every
sure.
ball and won more championships. But that would have been boring. That would have been too physical, and he wouldn't have explored everything he could do. And that explains Chamberlain as a player. He was a Goliath who didn't want to be just the Goliath, because it's not as challenging, and nobody likes those guys anyway.
Hey man, if y'all like this video, man, smash that like button. Get this video to at least 30 likes. Got y'all on the next one. We got some hot shit dropping for y'all. Appreciate all the love and support, man. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. Smash the like button like I just said. Rest in peace to Kari, ex my grandma, both our grandmas.